Hey guys, I'm back again. Um, Not Slim Shady, but it is Tenable Dawn. I'm doing the Bedecked brokers. Um, haven't really seen too much about this. Haven't looked into it too much. I know that looks gross. Sorry about that. Just hit myself on something. I'm a human being. I do get damaged, as it turns out, um, by cats. These all seem to be popping off, like the little glue on this isn't working too well. I don't know why this is. It's kind of weird. Okay. Well, it wasn't glued in there the best. Life counter, other stuff that I'm just gonna put to the side here. And then we have the main deck, and then it looks like they just kind of like stuffed these in there. Like they're just kind of like folded up like that. It's kind of weird that they do all that and then just fold it up. Let's see. Let us see what we get. Is it going to be... Okay, so it's this way. Let's see these first. So I got depopulate. Each player controls a multicolored creature, draws a card, and then destroy all creatures. Interesting. And we have when it enters the battlefield, exile any number of creatures controlled by different players until it leaves. Then when an exiled creature enters the battlefield under your control, put 2 counters on it. That's cool. I mean, I like it. Nothing too crazy. I mean, a lot of these are very like commander cards. I guess I don't know if you can get the regular cards from the set in there. I guess maybe they're trying to up the value by putting what's the word? Like I guess just packs in there. So there's a lot about counters on it. Let's just split the. Oh, okay. Well. He's gone. Let's put this in half real quick. It'll be easier to kind of look through. Foiling does make it a little hard, especially since I'm terrible at filming things, especially with lighting. Put a counter on target creature. When it attacks, target creature gets plus trample and +X/+X, where X is different counters among permanents you control. It's alright. I mean, getting the shield counter when it enters is nice, but I don't know if giving one creature based on the counters you have is that great. At the beginning of your upkeep, put a shield counter on target creature and opponent controls. When you put one or more counters on a creature you don't control, tap that creature and go to it. It gains trample. I like that. It's pretty cool. Especially if you do proliferate. Target creature you control gets +1/+0 until end of turn. It deals damage. Oh, well, this is the Obscura charm. Exotic pets. I almost bought the art for this. I kind of regret not doing it, but it's one of those things where it's like I'll probably do it eventually, but it's going to be way more than it. When I could have bought it. Some pretty good removal. I mean, obviously this is going to be like a counters thing. This one definitely went up a lot more because for each counter on something, you can put another one of those counters. When this came out, I think it was Kaladesh because you can tell by the art, but I don't think there was that many counters. Like you can have players with counters too, like energy counters, but in reality, it's I mean, a 2-mana 2/1 pirate is kind of still pretty good, especially with flying. Thumbing Bird to proliferate. Enters the battlefield, put a flying counter on target non-human creature, and then give creatures you control flying stuff. Devoted Druid and get a +1/+1 counter on it. It's pretty cool. Or -1, -1. It's the opposite, but it's still cool. I like this card. Proliferate. Negative thing. You only can activate it once per turn. I always thought it was as much as you want, but I guess just playing this for 2 mana then making 4 would be a little too good. Which Wickerborer Elder. It's kind of cool. I like this card, especially because you can remove counters. Didn't we get a charm? This has 2 charms. That's kind of interesting. The Bant charm and the whatever they're called charm. Primal Empathy. I like that card. Urban Evolution's kind of expensive for what you're trying to do, I think, but it's alright. Arcane Signet, Commander Sphere, Everflowing Chalice. I'm gonna guess since there's not as many sorry. Since there's not as many what's the word? Oh man, why can't I think of it? As many mana rocks, there's probably gonna be more mana ramp in the instants and sorceries. If you cast this during your main phase, put a shield counter on a creature you control, and then choose a counter, and then put a counter on each thing. On each other creature you control. Kind of annoying you have to cast it during your main phase. It seems like it would still be only alright, like otherwise. Destroy all creatures with no counters on them. It's a new card, I think. I think this card was talked about a little bit. When a permanent leaves the battlefield, if it had a counter, put those on target permanent you control. Okay. I think that's a pretty decent card. It's like a replacement for that one thing. I don't remember what it's called. There's a battlefield support 6. When a creature with a counter on it attacks, one of your opponents, that creature gains flying. There's another card that does this if you're going to do +1/+1s. It's a little cheaper, like mana cost wise. Attacks, choose a permanent on a counter, put it on target permanent you control if it doesn't have a counter of that kind on it. This is actually pretty cool. I like this deck actually. Put a shield counter on non-commander you control, or you don't control. Gain control of that creature for as long as there's a shield counter on it. Interesting. When you cast this spell, copy it for each counter among permanents you control. Then you may choose new targets for the copies. It's alright. Enters the battlefield. For each kind of counter on permanents you control, you may put a counter of a +1/+1 or a counter of that kind on Bribe Taker. Oh, for each kind of counter. Okay. Whenever you attack, put a shield counter on target attacking creature until the turn is when this creature deals combat damage to a melee. Remove a shield counter if you do draw a card. It can't be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less. When it deals damage to a player or dies, proliferate. And it has Dethrone. Some of these actually might be. I guess you can only really play the blue in these. In Marchesa, huh? The original one. Well, not the original one, but you know what I mean. Proliferate, phase out, and counter target activated or triggered ability. That's kind of cool. Editor-in-Chief looked pretty fun. I thought about making a deck around him. Maybe like a more fun blue-white commander. So a lot of cool stuff. Ooh, I love Declaration in Stone. It's a pretty good one. I don't know if in Commander, I think you'd just rather have an exile effect, but it's not too bad. When you draw a card, you may put a hoof print counter on it, and then remove 4 hoof prints, create a 4/4. Activate only during your turn. I mean, 3 mana for a 4/4 after doing all that doesn't seem that good, even with Proliferate. Luminarch Aspirant, I mean, I already know what that does. Destroy all non-land creatures. Together Forever, card they definitely should put in here, and they did. Midnight Clock, I like that. Draw 2, Proliferate. Oh, Forgotten Ancient, I love this card. Every single time I see it played, it's always doing something fun. Incubation Druid, good if you're trying to make mana and put counters on stuff. I haven't really seen any of the ramp. I'm trying to see. Those not too bad cards, but we'll see. Okay, so Rishkar, you can put counters on things, and his expertise, you draw cards equal to the greatest power, and then cast something with 5 or less. Scavenging Ooze, it's not really that good in Commander, honestly, if you're doing like precons, because there's not a lot of graveyard recursion. Even if there is, like a lot of times precon versus precon, Scavenging Ooze is just more like, ooh, why does he have it? And then they just play around it. Flash Hexproof, put a Hexproof counter. A Johnny. I don't know if I really like him in this deck. He's alright. I guess he gives you another kind of counter, but you can put feather counters on things. Put counters on this, you draw. She looks kind of fun as a commander too, maybe. You just something and simple. I mean, you just pay 2 mana to put a counter on her. Oh, Crystalline Giant. I like this card. Probably one of my favorite cards of all time. I know we're skipping over a little bit, but it's mostly just like this one. You can put counters on things, destroy everything without that counter. Exile top card of your library until turn, you may play that. Oh, okay. You know, I have not seen anyone play this, but this card's actually not too bad. You just get to do this a couple times and eventually just exile top card of your library for free. Like, even if someone counters it, if you're playing like a certain decks, like, it's not too bad. Oh, there's Fell Warstone, weirdly enough in the back, even though the other one had it in the front towards it. Remove a charge counter from a permanent you control, or remove a counter from a permanent you control, and then put a charge counter on an artifact, or put a +1/+1 counter on something. Interesting. Some of the ramp, and I think we're just getting to the tokens now. Yeah. Oh wow, they actually have some of the fancy lands. I guess they're only doing one of each, but these do look nice. I will admit. Let you look at them. Ooh. Okay, come on. And there we go. It's nice. We got some tokens. Oh yeah, I love these tokens. Look at this guy. And then we've got the counters. Obviously, there's a lot of shield counters. There's a lot of charge counters, I guess, too. And then we have copies of things. Elephants. Clue tokens. There's probably a treasure token. Why are they all clue tokens? I hope you're not making that many tokens. For clues, at least. I feel like you could be doing better things with your mana. But anyways, that's the counters deck, basically, for the new Capenna Commanders. It's pretty cool. I hope you guys enjoy. I'll see you guys on the next one. I mean, I'm recording these back to back, so if you miss me, I'll be here tomorrow, or I guess probably just in the next video since most people don't watch it day to day. Okay, I'll see you later.